everyone. So, welcome to this Virgo pre-full moon meditation. The exact moment of the full moon, as I have it, is 2:36 a.m. and 43 seconds. Now, it's posted on the Morya Federation as 2:34. I don't know why that is, but you can check it for yourself if you'd like. Well, anyway, 2:36 a.m. GMT on September 28th, which, if you're in Europe, is tomorrow, and during the evening hours of today, if you're in North or South America. Okay, so let's start, as is our habit, by taking a look at the astrological chart for the full moon. This full moon, which is the second of 4 supermoons, is at 25 degrees of Pisces, conjunct Neptune at 28 degrees. As we know, full moons are always opposite the sun and often indicate that which is coming to fruition. This sense of cyclic completion will be dramatically enhanced by a lunar eclipse, which will be happening less than 2 hours before the full moon. Of the Virgo-Pisces opposition, DK says, the relation existing between Virgo and Pisces, between the Virgin Mother and the fish goddesses, is well known, for they are polar opposites and their functions are interchangeable in a peculiar manner. In the revolution of the ordinary wheel, Aries and Scorpio mark the beginning and the end, and consummate in the rounding out and equipped personality. In the life of the disciple, Virgo and Pisces stand in the same relation, for Pisces consummates the work carried forward in this major world cycle. This particular sun-moon opposition, with both Virgo and Pisces being symbolic of the mother aspect, is especially important because the moon is the esoteric ruler of Virgo and thus represents, quote, the substance of the flame which lights the way. It's like the wick, the form aspect of the flame. The moon in Virgo veils first-ray Vulcan, which, because that planet is expressive of the will aspect, gradually begins to control the self-aware aspirant. DK says, it is in this sign also that the moon, in its own right of antiquity and of ancient thought form control, and also as veiling both Vulcan and Neptune, connects the force of Virgo with the energies of Taurus, of Cancer, and of Aquarius, and you can see that on the chart. This is of peculiar importance, for it relates the form-building aspect with the consciousness aspect, which at a high stage of development produces the manifestation of the Christ principle, or child Christ child. The energetic quality of the moon in Pisces with the sun in Virgo promotes a sensitive, refined, feminine, artistic, and creative expression. It can stimulate compassion, devotion, and the desire to serve, but can also be highly emotional, a state intensified by Mars' presence in Cancer. All these qualities are further intensified by the fact that Neptune is conjunct the moon in Pisces, in which sign Neptune is a special ruler. This conjunction can open the door to higher psychism, but can also stimulate astrality and one's mediumistic tendencies. The fact that there are 6 planets in mutable signs intensifies all these qualities, bringing in adaptability, open-mindedness, and versatility, thus creating a heightened opportunity for meditational work, as well as lucid dreams work. The Virgo-Pisces axis has a pronounced influence on our health, making this a great time for physical and emotional detox and purification. The Moon-Neptune conjunction in Pisces puts a tremendous emphasis on all things having to do with water, which we see manifesting in the recent flooding in Central Europe and in the southern U.S., southeastern U.S. Another significant aspect in this month's full moon chart is the Mercury-Saturn opposition. Mercury is the exoteric ruler of Virgo, and its presence there indicates clarity and coherent understanding. I actually have two. We have one ruler actually in the sign Virgo, and then we have the moon in the opposite sign, which brings that energy into Virgo as well, the esoteric ruler. In opposition to this, Saturn in Pisces can bring up subconscious issues and past baggage whose resolution can be facilitated by the mental clarity of Mercury. The theme in all this might be described as introspective visioning, leading to a creative and healing work and creative and healing outer expression. Okay, let's take a quick look at Virgo itself, whose exoteric keywords are, and the word said, let matter reign. Virgo is preeminently a form-based sign and eventually is the sign in which that form is purified, and whose esoteric keywords are I am the mother and the child, I, God, I, matter, am. On the subject of these keywords, DK says, know that you yourself have said the first word as the soul, descending into the womb of time and space in a far and distant past. The time has now come when you can, if you so choose, proclaim your identity with both divine aspects, matter and spirit, the mother and the Christ. Virgo's roots go back to a time long before the Greeks knew her as the virgin goddess Artemis, even before the ancient Egyptians worshipped her as Hathor, which means habitation of the holy light. Virgo, according to the Tibetan, comes to us from an ancient Atlantean root name, which was applied to the mother principle in those far off times. But actually Virgo, along with Pisces and Cancer, Virgo, actually that's what I meant to say, Virgo, along with Cancer, who is the other sign representing the mother aspect, were active in the previous solar system. Virgo is a triple sign, bringing in the first, second, and third principles, the father, mother, and child. Thus, the Vesica Pisces is a particularly appropriate symbol for the Christ principle, gestating in the womb of Virgo, is created from the union of spirit and matter. DK says, Virgo symbolizes depths, darkness, quiet, and warmth. It is the valley of deep experience, wherein secrets are discovered and eventually brought to light. It is the place of slow, gentle and yet powerful crises, and periodic developments which take place in the dark and yet which lead to light. Okay, let's take a quick look at the Heraclean labor associated with Virgo. Initially, the nature of the labor seemed simple enough. Heracles was charged with bringing back the golden girdle of Venus, held by the queen of the Amazons. But the actual labor, which the presiding one did not reveal to Heracles, was reconciliation and alignment with, leading to redemption of, the form aspect, so that we, Hercules, we might learn to nurture the Christ principle in our own threefold nature. This is also the meaning of the moon veiling both Neptune and Vulcan as esoteric ruler of Virgo. So being used to triumphing through force and thus missing the fact that Hippolyte was in process of freely offering him the girdle, Heracles slays the Amazon queen, thus losing the greater opportunity. At this point, the presiding one says, "My son, why slay that which is needed, close and dear? Why kill the one you love, the giver of good gifts, custodian of the possible? Why kill the mother of the sacred child?" Again, we mark a failure. Again, you have not understood. Redeem this moment ere again you seek my face. Making an enemy of the world of form actually further binds us to it, whereas love and compassion allows us to see the part form plays in the plan. And through this realization, we are able to create a fit vehicle for soul-infused service. All of this is the purpose and the message, the theme of Virgo. This labor is largely about the benefit of failure and the efficacy of karma. Do any of us get our own labors right the first time? The insight that comes through failing and pondering our failures inevitably leads to right thought, speech, and action. An interesting detail in this labor takes place when Heracles rushes headlong into the bowels of a sea serpent in order to rescue Princess Hesione, a metaphor for braving the unknown in order to release the divine feminine, and thereby reconcile ourselves with what we think of as the quote-unquote other. Okay, with these thoughts in mind, let us begin our meditation. So spines erect, regular breathing, which helps to calm the physical, etheric, and astral planes, astral sheaths. Now let us lift our focus onto the mental plane and enter into the presence of the soul. Visualize a point as high in the head as possible and create a point of tension there. This can act as a bridge to the soul. As we slowly deepen this contact, feel yourself moving into a field of light, of love, and of spiritual power. Now let us merge ourselves as individual souls into a deep sense of the group soul. We can facilitate this merging by visualizing a ring of white light with each of us as points within that ring, and at the center, the Master Decay, who is one with the group soul. As our unity strengthens, let us extend this sense of inclusive connection out to all the spiritually minded people of the world, including all men and women of goodwill. Now, in an act of still further extension, let us visualize our group soul merging into the one soul of humanity. In this act of inclusion comes the realization that there is no my soul and thy soul. In fact, it is in living awareness of this unified field that we can truly say, naught is but me. This is the second ray work of ever expanding circles of inclusion. Now, let us bring to bear the will aspect of the soul, visualizing a potent point of tension within the mental unit, demonstrating as the color of your soul ray. This point of tension will form the foundation of your antakarana. If you don't know your soul and personality rays, use the second ray color, indigo. Now visualize your dual-colored individual antakarana, that's soul and personality rays, bridging the higher subplanes of the mental plane, thereby connecting the mental unit with the monastic permanent atom. This is an imaginative exercise or meditation. Projecting upward from that point of tension, as high in the head as you can visualize, we project our dual-colored antakarana. Now let us visualize our individual antakaranas merging into the group Antakarana, which glows with all the 7 colors, but primarily the deep indigo blue of the second ray. Now, holding this high alignment and this sense of identification with the group soul, let us together affirm the great word of power. I see the greatest light. Still holding this point of tension on the mental plane, imaginatively project a line of vivid, living white light into triadal realms. Our group light is met by a light from on high. In the presence of this great light of the spiritual triad, let us attempt to feel the presence of the Great White Brotherhood, the Lodge of Masters, and the spiritual hierarchy of our planet. Now, with heartfelt gratitude, let us offer our salutations to the Masters and to the head of the hierarchy, the Christ. Salutations to the Buddha, the Lord of Light and Wisdom. Salutations to the Christ, the Master of all Masters. Salutations to the triangle of masters with whom we work most closely. Salutations to the Master Morya. Salutations to the Master Kuthumi. Salutations to the Master Dual Kul. Salutations to the spiritual hierarchy of our planet. Now, fully identified with the group soul, let us lift our focus to Shambhala, the center where the will of God is known, and with deepest reverence and humility, attune to the presence of Sanat Kumara, standing at the very center of Shambhala. It is in this heightened state that we can come to realize that Shambhala is the planetary center through which the energies of the constellations and the planets enter our world to be distributed to all living beings on Earth. Now let us align with the spiritual qualities emanating from the three planetary rulers of the sign Virgo. Mercury, the exoteric ruler, conveying acute, discriminative intelligence. The moon, the esoteric ruler, representing the threefold form in its purified state, so that it may be a fit vehicle for the Christ principle. And finally, Jupiter, the hierarchical ruler, suggesting the consummated expansion of the Christ principle as expressed on the monadic plane, which Jupiter rules. So let us first turn our attention to the power of Mercury, the sun of mind, which in relation to Virgo conveys the ability to focus the mind analytically, lucidly, and reasonably, so that the birthing of the Christ principle in the heart may be prepared with full intelligence. Let us, as a group, open our consciousness to those impressions born upon the Mercurian stream of energy. Consider how you, your group, this group, might best channel the energy of discriminative intelligence into the human kingdom. Imagine and visualize this group imbued with these divine qualities, transmitting them to all humanity. Now let us shift our focus to Virgo's esoteric ruler, the moon, which in Virgo veils Vulcan and Neptune, conveying the ability to restore the threefold lunar form to its divinely intended purity through the sustained will to endure of Vulcan, holding and conditioning the lunar form until the Neptunian Christ child is born in the cave of the heart. From this place of depth and silence, consider how you, the group with which you're affiliated, this group, might best channel Vulcan's restorative power of focused, abiding will to nurture the Christ principle, thus preparing the way for his reappearance among humanity, first within and then without. And finally, let us shift our focus to Jupiter, Virgo's hierarchical ruler. Visualize and imagine the Christ principle achieving full and consummated expression as it rises to the monadic plane, whereon the spirit aspect of all human beings is found. Imagine a spiritual victory of love divine in the world of form. From this transcendent place of pure love, consider how you, the groups with which you're affiliated, and this group might best channel the transformative power of divine love that comes to us from this Jupiterian stream. Imagine this group imbued with the essence of love, transmitting it to all humanity. Now let us turn our attention to the constellation Virgo, radiating its particular quality of light. DK describes its light as, quote, Virgo, the blended dual light. Two lights are seen, one bright and strong, the light of form, one faint and dim, the light of God. Let us together open ourselves to Virgo's profound relationship to the second ray of love wisdom and to the sixth ray of devotion and idealism. And now let us take a moment to ponder the esoteric mantra for Virgo. I am the mother and the child. I, God, I, matter, am. And finally, let us visualize the following energetic downflow, starting in the constellation Virgo, flowing down through the solar logos at the heart of our solar system into Shambhala. Then on down through our monads into the hierarchy, through the great Lord the Christ, and into and through the ashram with which you believe yourself to be increasingly associated. On down through the soul of this group, and finally into your spiritualized personality. Now, while as a group holding this high alignment, let us, through the eyes of love and compassion, consider the world situation. And imagine one single way in which the purifying energies of Virgo might flow through us for the upliftment and redemption of humanity and the planet. Now, while still holding this high alignment, let us, with hands upraised and intoning the Om 3 times, send a group blessing into humanity so that it may rise to its true spiritual potential and thus fulfill the divine plan. And we'll finish with a great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on Earth. So let it be, and help us do our part. Oh.